Never in doubt. We had to go 7 games. One more video for you. We all thought it was over on Thursday. 6-point favorite. Mathematically, the Thunder had about a 70% chance of wrapping it up. Well, they didn't get it done. It was never even close. Blowout from start to finish. And now we have a game 7. Do or die for both teams. Pacers, Thunders decided on the court Sunday night. I've got one more breakdown for you. Side, total, player props, free picks, free analysis coming up for game 7 right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And we get 2 days of travel, Friday and Saturday off to head back to OKC for Sunday's game. And initially, the Thunder were installed as an 8.5-point favorite, quickly bet down to 7.5. And got to be honest, the line's a little bit less than I thought it would be. You look back at the game's 1 and 2 numbers in this series. OKC was a 10-point favorite in game 1, had a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, lost by 1. Indiana never led until there was 0.3 seconds on the clock. And then, of course, they inflated the line even more for game 2, 11.5, and the Thunder won and covered, won by 16. So I was expecting maybe a 10 for this game. So very surprised to see the line at 7.5. And I do think the price looks a little cheap. And yes, the Thunder did not look good in game 6. And I think they've been kind of overrated this entire postseason, to be honest. But they are still the better team. And they have bounced back well at home this year. And they've been a much better home team in the playoffs as opposed to the road. And I told you all, in the Game 6 video, I thought the Thunder would close it out, but if you're going to play the Pacers, play the money line at over a 2-1 payoff, and I know many of you probably did. So once again, it's Thunder spread or Pacers outright on the money line because Indiana is 0 in every one of their losses postseason. What is it, 0-7, I believe? And the average loss has been by 13.5 points. So once again, don't hope that the Pacers can lose but cover, especially now that this line is almost a basket and a half lower than games 1 and 2. And by the way, the game 5 line was 9 in OKC, and they won by 11. And they come off a win in game 4, and they still won by 11 in game 5. Before we get to some charts and whatnot, though, I saw an interesting tweet. And as you know, I always like to give credit where credit is due. On Twitter, saw this one on Thursday night after the game was finished. And it's really a remarkable stat about how similar you'll see here from Damon Rangula. I was not familiar with Damon. But he's got 30-some thousand followers. But look at this. I don't know if he came up with this or if he found it elsewhere, but this is where I saw it. The similarities between the OKC Denver series and now this series between the Pacers. Remember game 1, Thunder lost outright at home. Well, they bounced back with that blowout win by, what was it, over 40 points in game 2. As I just mentioned, Thunder lost game 1, won game 2 here against Indiana. Game 3 on the road at Denver and Indiana, they lost by exactly 9 points both times. And then in game 4, they bounced back in non-covering gutsy wins by 5 and 4. That actually is incorrect, though. Got to check Damon here. I know that's incorrect because we had the Thunder in game 4, and they were fortunate to cover. They won by 7. So that is not correct. How could something on the internet not be 100% factual? This is why you always got to do your own homework. And now I'm questioning all the other numbers on this, but I know most of them are similar. And once again, I just remember the results. But once again, they lost game 3, won game 4 by single digits, bounced back and won game 5, and then everybody thought it was over. And as you see there, the surprising road favorite losses in game 6, where they were favored by about the exact same amount. What happened in game 7, if you recalled? Well, I looked it up. I think it was 125-93. It was a blowout game 7 win against the Nuggets in the earlier round. And I do think that continues here with this setup. Once again, I know the Thunder looked ugly in game 6. They mailed it in from the start. Pacers are playing with their life on the line, but they've been a weaker road team. OKC's been better at home. And if history repeats itself, it doesn't always repeat itself, but it usually rhymes. This looks like a good spot for the Thunder, and I do think we're getting some line value now. I thought this line would be 9 or 10, and it's only 7.5. So once again, thought that tweet was interesting. But let's get to some charts now from Stat Daddy, the pin, the human database, still father of Jeff. Ralph Michaels at Kel Sports LV on X and Instagram. You can also find him at WagerTalk.com. Ralph Michaels has done a great job. This entire final series, it had to go 7 games because we had to get a 7th set of charts from Ralph, and he never disappoints. I had him send me over the Game 7 results for the past couple decades. We'll look at all Game 7s in general, and this is, by the way, rounds 3 and 4 only. This is rounds 3 and 4 only. So the conference finals and the NBA finals going back the last 20 years, back to the 2005 finals and conference finals, you will see that straight up Game 7 home teams just 6 and 6 against the spread, just 5 and 7. Average point spread's been about 4.5 points a game. Average total has been 195, and that's why I wanted to show this chart. That total's 20 points lower than this game, and guess what? 11-1 to the under still. We've talked a lot about how games in 6s and 7s trend under. We saw that in Game 6 the other night, another easy under. And we've also talked about if you eliminate round 1. We talked about this a few weeks ago in the round 1 and 2 videos. Round 1 is actually a couple games to the over. I think it's like 16-14 to the over, including, I believe it was it the Denver game? They went 7 back in round 1. My point is, if you take out round 1 and you look at rounds 2, 3, and 4, which is the conference semifinals and finals and the NBA finals, Game 7s are now 11-1 to the under the last 20 years. The average total was only 195, and the average final score was right around 180. How crazy is that? Once again, the last 12 final around conference finals and NBA finals, the last 12 times we have a Game 7 the last 20 years, average score is about 180, and that's 11-1 to the under. With that said, though, we have a much higher total because only one time did we have a total higher than 215, and that was 218 between the Thunder and Warriors back in 2016, 9 years ago. That game landed on just 184. So once again, the under is really the only way you can play it. Hard to say there's much line value left, though. The odds makers have done a pretty good job here. They've priced this as the lowest total so far this series. Just to put it in perspective, Game 1 had a total of 230. Game 2, 227.5, 226, 227, 222, and that game went over in Game 5. So they priced it 223 the other night in Game 6, and it landed, of course, on, what was it, 199. Hard to play anything but the under here in Game 7, but once again, not a lot of wiggle room. And I do think the Thunder get it done here. We'll talk about the full game total a little bit more, but let's look at some other charts here. Since Ralph sent over 3, we talked about games, rounds 3 and 4, right? That was the conference finals and NBA finals. But I wanted you to see the NBA finals only have been just the same. In fact, home team in the NBA finals a little bit better, 3-1 straight up, and the average point spread 6.5, which is similar to this line. And you will see the margin of victory there. We had a 7-point win, 4-point win, 7-point win. So once again, they're 3-1 straight up, but they're just 2-2 against the spread. But once again, the over-unders have been incredible. 4-0 to the under. You see those totals there. The average line was 194.5, and the average final score is about 176. So once again, the 4 NBA Finals Game 7s have gone 4-0 to the under. Average final score 176 over the last 20 years. And it makes sense, right? Round 1s, we get overs. 2, 3, and 4, we get unders, and we get even more extreme unders in the NBA Finals. So once again, under 215.5 historically would be the only way to play it, even though there's not a lot of wiggle room. I'm going to give you some options here in a moment, some other ways to attack it. But I want to look at one final chart here as we wrap up these the Game 7 data. This is all Game 7s in which we have a big home favorite coming off a loss. Now, it excludes round 1 because you get weaker teams against each other. Once again, this is rounds 2, 3, and 4. Conference semifinals, finals, and the NBA finals all the way back to 2014. So basically the last 9 years. This is a Game 7 home favorite of 6 points or more that lost Game 6. So that means they had a 3-2 series lead. Very likely were a road favorite probably, and then lost just like the Thunder did. And now they're the substantially better team, so they're laying more than 6 at home. Not a great spot against the spread. You'll see they're 6-2 straight up, but they're just 2-6 against the number. Average line has been 7 points, very close to this number. And the average total, 206. And we'll see the over-under just 4-4. So once again, the over-under hasn't been as good in this situation that we get a big home favorite that lost Game 6 on the road, and now we're back home at Game 7. So once again, that's another reason, not only the drastic line drop, but this is also not the sweet spot for those over-unders, and also not a great spot spread-wise for the Thunder, even though they would be 6-2 straight up in this spot. The average win, they're just 2-6 against the spread. So something to keep in mind if you're attacking this. But I do like OKC. That'd be the only way I play it for a few reasons. First of all, they have bounced back in this spot all playoffs long. Indiana, when they lose by 13.5 points on average this postseason. And also, we'll talk more about Halliburton in a moment, but I don't think he's 100%. He had a gutsy Game 6. I think he regresses on the road. A little foreshadowing, some props we'll talk about. But to finish out the totals talk, one other thing I want to mention, sneaky ways to play this. While I think the game is probably under, that's the only way to play it. the Thunder should bounce back. Their team total might get over. So what do? If we lean under, we like the Thunder. Why not play the Pacer team total under 104 and a half? So once again, instead of the game total under, maybe a Pacer team total under 104 and a half, as I do think they'll regress on the road. And that gets me looking out some player props. If we're going to take the team total under for Indiana, we obviously are going to take some of their players under. Let's look at their box score first. And by the way, those of you who are wondering, I didn't give him a shout out for Game 6, but Dan the Man Alexander is back from his wedding weekend. I know so many of you were worried if he had recovered, if he had headed for the Himalayas for Switzerland. But no, he gutsed it out. He said the wedding ring is burning the left finger, but he's getting used to it. But all seriousness, he's back with the graphics, and he will be hosting Last Call every Saturday this summer. So even though I'm done with the NBA videos, there'll be more live TV in the summer. He's also doing the baseball videos with me. And Dan, of course, does a great job grabbing some of that box score data for us. And Indiana had a monster Game 6. Once again, it was a big bounce-back game at home. Players stepped up. But let's talk about Halliburton. He played less than 23 minutes. Even when the game was on the line, they were sitting him a little bit more. He did take 12 shot attempts, 3 for 7 from 3, 5 for 12 from the field, 14 points, 5 assists. I think he regresses, and he still had only 14 points and 5 assists. In fact, there was rumblings that if this had been a regular season, he might have been out 3 or 4 weeks with the Achilles/ankle injury, whatever it turned out to be. I think that was his step-up game in Game 6. I look for him to regress, so definitely fade Halliburton. I would not be on his overs in this. His assists under, especially his points under, I look for him to rough night, especially with Lou Dort guarding him, first-team All-NBA. Nesmith, 10 points, 2 for 6 from 3. Siakam only 1 for 3 from 3. He had only 16 points. These guys were limited, though, because it was a blowout, obviously. The Pacers were up by as much as 31 at one point in that game. In fact, keep in mind, they won the game by 17. They were up by 30 after the third quarter. So we can't read too much in this game, but I do think Halliburton regresses. Definitely look to fade him. And I'm looking to fade Obi Toppin. He's had another monster game, 6 for 12, shooting 20 points. I can't imagine they'll let Toppin beat him. If Halliburton is somewhat limited, which I think he will be, they're going to have some of their better defenders on Toppin. 3 straight double-digit games. He's gone over 3 straight. He's still only set around 10.5, though. Keep in mind, he had only 3 points and 8 points in games 2 and 3. So I look for Toppin to regress. Halliburton and Obi Toppin unders both make a lot of sense to me in Game 7 Sunday night. And let's take a look at the Thunder box score as well while we're talking about Game 6. We'll do a little recap here. Hartenstein showed up. He'd had like 2 points for a few games. He was 3 for 4 shooting 10 points, only 16 minutes. But he's been in the starting lineup the last few games. And that's because Cason Wallace has not been. Wallace only played 14 minutes, 2 points, only took 4 shot attempts. Wallace is a guy I said back about 3-4 games ago. He should not be in the starting rotation, and his minutes have really been limited. But we will look at some overs from some OKC guys, since I do prefer their overside here in a Game 7 win. Chet Holmgren, very limited in Game 6. Played 24 minutes, 9 shot attempts, 4 points. Keep in mind, he was 2 for 9 shooting back in Game 1, had only 6 points, and he came back with 15, 20, and 14 the next 3 games. He's priced at 15.5, but we're getting plus money over 15.5 points at FanDuel, at least right now, in some other spots. After back-to-back single-digit games, hey, look, if the OKC Thunder get it done, which I think they will, Chet Holmgren is going to step up and have a double-digit game. I like him over 15.5 total points. And SGA, Gilgeous-Alexander, just 21 points, only 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 31 minutes. He only got to the free throw line 8 times. I look for more free throws at home. Up and over his point total will be the only way I play. I'm not going to fade the MVP of the league at home in Game 7 off a bad loss. It's pricey, 32.5 to 33.5. But keep in mind, he did have 38 and 34 in Games 1 and 2. And he also had 35 in Game 4. SGA over is the only way to play it. Little pricey on the points. So you might want to look like points rebounds over 37.5. Or maybe points assist over 38.5. I would tie it up with either points and assists or points and rebounds. I would prefer points and assist. That might be the best way to attack SGA, but I like his props over along with Holmgren. Williams has had a huge playoffs, obviously, but only had 16 points in game number 6. But he did have monster games before that. 17, 19, 26, 27, 40, and 16. Jalen Williams over would be the only way I would play him as well. Holmgren, SGA, and Williams over. Got to figure 2 of the 3 get there. And that might get their team total over as well. That's another reason I'm a little lukewarm on that Game 7 under trend. I'd rather have the Pacer team total under if you're going to attack an under in Game 7 Sunday night. Hey, there you go. Deep dive. What a way to end it, right? I did every NBA postseason game this playoff run, every NBA playoff game this postseason, however you want to phrase it. I did every March Madness game during the NCAA tournament, including the play-in rounds for both the NBA and the NCAAs. Hope you found it useful. If you did, one final time, thumbs up, like the video. Let's break the like record. We get over 1,000 likes. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes. Look, we're getting almost 20,000 views. More than 10% of you can smash that like button. It's not asking a lot. Takes 2 seconds. Thumbs up, like, and comment below. Positive comments are always appreciated, but I also want to know your Game 7 thoughts. Side, total, player prop. How are you attacking this game on Sunday night? And don't forget, I'm doing baseball videos throughout the week on a daily basis. If you want to get a free baseball video throughout the week, thumbs up, like, comment below, but also click subscribe and click the bell for an instant alert so you never miss out when the free play videos are posted right here daily on WagerTalk TV. And yes, we're only a few months away from college and pro football. It's right around the corner. Hey, speaking of which, don't forget my best bets are available every day for basketball. My NBA Game 7 video of best bets for Sunday. I'm doing the video a couple days early. Best bets will be up Sunday. Daily baseball best bets, but football is right around the corner, less than 3 months away. We do have some special offers right now at WagerTalk. Now, the 30-day All Sports is going to get you the Game 7 best bet and then 30 days of baseball. That's a great offer. It's 30 days for the price of 14. Instant $100 discount. Gets it down to about $6 a day. But if you're ready to take a serious long-term investment approach into next year's football and basketball seasons, the one-year all access is an even better value. Works out to $3 a day, about $1 a play. Instant $811 discount. You see both offers on the screen. Look, it doesn't matter which one you choose. Every client gets the exact same best bets I am personally using each day. Same games I've won with consistently for 29 years as a full-time professional. You'll see the 30-day there gets you an instant $100 discount, gets it down to $6 a day. Or the one-year all-access, instant $811 discount. Plus, as you read on the screen, a bonus 25% coupon that you can use every day on any other pick you make or purchase from any other capper for the next year. Now, there's no need to purchase anything else from me. This is all inclusive. It's that simple. Whether it's a 1 day or the 1 month or a 1 year, if I have a play, every client gets the exact same games I'm personally using. I'm selective. 1 to 3 best bets per day on average, but that selectivity equals big return on investment. Last year, number one in best bet profit, up over 133 units of profit at WagerTalk in 2024. We had doubled our bankroll by the end of the summer before Labor Day, thanks to a monster baseball season. In fact, look at some of these runs last year in Major League Baseball. You know, it's funny, about 10 years ago, the day after the NBA Finals ended, I won 19 straight baseball plays. It's the best baseball win streak I've ever had. I remember it started the day after the NBA Finals. Well, last summer, we had some monster runs as well in Major League Baseball. And that's one of the reasons we doubled our bankroll before football even began. Looking to do it again this summer. And it's not a fluke. Year after year, this is such a great time of the year to be playing baseball in June, July, August. 35-14 baseball run last summer. Also a 38-15 run. A 57-28 baseball run last summer. Just incredible hot streaks in Major League Baseball. And we're looking to do it again here in the summer of 2025. The summer of George. Hey, last chance to drop some Seinfeld references. That was fun. We did that, a couple rounds ago in the playoffs. We had some 16 candle references last week when Dan was getting married. Oily bullhonk, getting married. Let's have some fun on the way out here. Comment below, thumbs up, like, and check out my page, not only for the best bet specials, but also for a daily free play. As I said earlier, I'm very selective. 1 to 3 best bets, which means that last cut, just a bit outside for making the best bet card, goes up as a free play for everybody every day. So check out the daily free play. Check out the best bets. Check out the special offers and get there quicker. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. Hey, some great info on the screen. Thanks to, once again, Dan Alexander, our producer. And on the way out, don't forget to follow me on social media and X, on Instagram as well, at Steve Merril. You see it in the bottom corner there, 2 R's, 1 L, at Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to WagerTalk TV because NBA Finals might be wrapping up, but you know there's more free play videos and other sports, including Major League Baseball, coming up next.